this one is especially for the ladies. Steve, you're very welcome to join. But really, we're going to be talking about menopause and perimenopausal symptoms. So if you are joining me, please say hello so I know that you're there. Now, this is going to be, look, we've got half an hour together. Normally, I do 1 day long workshops on this topic. I'm absolutely passionate about it, and let me tell you why. I'm Trish Tucker-May, and my last period was 2 years ago, so I'm menopausal. But I'm a qualified nutritionist, and I specialise in hormones and the link with the gut. And I particularly help women, because what I see in my clinic is women that are wired and very tired, who possibly have high blood pressure, who are having difficulty sleeping, who have surprising food intolerances where they've never had that before. They may be prone to rashes and allergies when they've never had that before. And they may have decreased sex drive when they've never had that before. And we see a direct correlation between gut health, the health of the liver, and hormonal symptoms. So that's why I'm super passionate about it. And also because I'm a menopausal mum of 2 young boys. So I had my boys late in life, which means that I'm probably more exhausted. While many of you may have children that have left home, I am in the middle of homeschooling a primary school child and homeschooling a year 7 child. So my boys are 12 and 9. So I started late in life, and now I'm menopausal. So it's interesting what comes up. Now, let me share with you, and let me know if you're watching, if anyone's watching there, and let me know if it's actually working, because often on here I can't actually see whether it's working. So hopefully it is, and I'll just plow along, and hopefully someone will join and you can let me know whether it's working or not. And what we will do going forward is we will do Zoom calls rather than just a Facebook Live, because then I can actually see you, you can see me, and we can talk instead of me just talking to the camera and hoping that someone is there watching, because it's quite difficult when you're just talking to the camera. So if you're watching also on replay and you have any questions about any of the blends or any of the symptoms that you are experiencing, then please reach out to me. If you have not got your oils yet and you would like to talk to me about your symptoms so I can put together some specific protocols using essential oils, then please book a call with me, and you can do that via my calendar, and I will put a link in to the conversation box. Okay, so normally we have a few people watching by this stage, so yeah, hopefully if you're watching on replay, reach out to me and let me know about your questions. And also have a think about what you're struggling with at the moment. So menopause and perimenopause involves a massive amount of change in our bodies. Let me know if you're struggling with any of these symptoms. Irregular periods, maybe that's something that you've struggled with all of your life, or really heavy periods, or you may be bleeding once every 2 weeks and very heavily. You may have vaginal dryness. Hot flushes is a really big thing with in perimenopause, especially in perimenopause rather than menopause. The lead up into the change of the estrogen and progesterone has often comes with insomnia and night sweats. I did have some night sweats a couple of years ago, but I definitely know that it was very much closely linked to stress and drinking too much red wine. So when I cut out excess coffee, look, I love my 1 coffee a day, but when I cut out any alcohol from my diet, the night sweats went away. And when I did a lot to manage my stress, the night sweats went away and the insomnia went away. So there is a lot of things that we can do, ladies, to support our hormone symptoms, because hormone imbalance is directly impacted by cortisol levels, and those beautiful hormones that go hand in hand together. Cortisol, adrenaline, serotonin, melatonin, they all impact our hormones, and they will impact our estrogen and progesterone levels. And we have what is known as very estrogen dominant living. So when we're eating lots of meat, or we're eating processed foods, we're having a lot of coffee, we're having booze, we're having refined sugar, all of those things will lead to an estrogen dominance, and estrogen dominance will definitely mean your symptoms are worse. And some of your symptoms: night sweats, chills, sleep problems, mood changes, weight gain, slowed metabolism, that weight gain around the middle of the stomach. Hey Debbie, thank you for joining me. Thinning of the hair, particularly dry skin, the loss of the elasticity in the skin, the loss of breast fullness. It's all such an exciting time, isn't it? Dizzy spells, headaches, aching joints, tiredness, feeling really wired but tired, feeling really frazzled but tired and not sleeping well. Digestive issues, symptoms like burning tongue is a common menopause symptom. Unexplained allergies. So suddenly, all of a sudden, being allergic to certain foods or certain fabrics. I know I was getting a bit of a rash from any labels on my clothing. I had to go through most of my yoga tops and most of my tops and unpick the labels from my clothing, because that little bit of plastic nylon-y stuff that they stitch those labels on was just driving me nuts in the back of my neck. So there's that extra sensitivity. I know certainly I've been very extra sensitive to noise, to sharp noises. Good on me, I've got two rambunctious young boys. So, I've found that I've been much more prone to irritation around noise levels. So sharp noises particularly. So I did a lot of work in my yoga and my breathing to calm down the parasympathetic nervous system, to create that feeling of tranquility and space and peace in my life. So I encourage you to do that, especially if you're suffering 3 or more of these symptoms that I'm mentioning, then do some work on reducing your cortisol levels. Unexplained allergies, body odor. Your body odor. Your body odor changes in when you're coming into puberty. Well, you have another change when you come to menopause. It's almost like puberty backwards, okay? Because we still have estrogen and progesterone, but we're just not the uterus is not producing the lining, and then we're not having the bleed, and then we will still have fluctuations in the hormones, even though we don't have the menses, we don't menstruate. So you may end up with really brittle nails. You may end up with anxiety and depression, joint pain, electric shock sensation, osteoporosis. These are all very common symptoms of the menopause, and even the lead up to the perimenopause. Now, I do know, and I speak to some women who have struggled with early onset menopause or medically induced menopause for whatever reason that may be. Maybe they've had to have a hysterectomy, or they've had treatment. Very common with cancer treatments that chemotherapy and radiation puts you into a medically induced early menopause, which is very unfortunate. So that is a little bit of a different situation. But even in that situation, we need to make sure we're supporting the liver and we're reducing cortisol levels. So I'm going to give you some very specific roller blends and blends that I can post in the group that are very good for managing some of these symptoms. But I do want to let you know that the symptoms of high cortisol levels and the symptoms of a congested liver and the symptoms of needing to support your gut health all correlate with the symptoms of unwanted symptoms in menopause. So you will notice some similarities here, that high cortisol levels are not sleeping well, decreased libido, weight gain and obesity, weakened immune system, increased gut permeability, which means you've got leaky gut, which means there's whole particles of proteins particularly getting into the bloodstream, and the body becomes so confused that it may start to attack itself. If that goes left unchecked for a long period of time, you've got autoimmune diseases and autoimmune problems. Food intolerances are very common with high cortisol levels, so also with menopause. If you have insufficient or low cortisol levels, you may be feeling really tired all the time. Again, you'll be feeling anxious and irritable. You will have bone and muscle loss. You will have depressed mood. You'll have sugar and salt cravings. You'll have difficulty sleeping, and you will have brain fog and memory, worsening memory and worsening concentration levels. So I do have a few blends that will support all of those symptoms. But look, as I've said to you many times before, the body whispers a long time before it starts to shout. Pay attention to the whispers. The whispers are telling you that there is an imbalance in your cortisol levels, in your adrenals, in your digestive system. And I really take, as a nutritionist, I take foundational health, so important. So that's about eating right and getting the right amount of exercise and relaxing, letting the parasympathetic nervous system do what it needs to do to help relax and rest and digest and metabolize the foods properly in order to give your organs the best chance that they have of producing the hormones and the chemicals that are needed for balanced hormones. And of course, again, they are cortisol, adrenaline, melatonin, serotonin, dopamine, all of those working together in that interconnected domino effect. So, if you're not sleeping well, then you're not going to be metabolizing well. You're not going to be metabolizing fats well. You're going to be reaching for the wrong types of foods because you're feeling so tired. That's going to impact, again, the cortisol levels. So it's like this catch-22 that you've got to start somewhere. And one of the best ways to start is to, making sure that you're adequately hydrated and you're sleeping really well. And then you're looking at eating very well for balancing your hormones. Okay, let's talk about eating for a really good menopause. So you may have heard of seed cycling. So getting a lot of good seeds into your diet, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, sesame seeds, and cycling those throughout what would have been your menstrual cycle. If you're not bleeding anymore, you will still have those fluctuations. So using seeds is a great way of supporting natural estrogen. Be aware of xenoestrogens. These are synthetics, okay? So they are, if you are very heavily dependent on meat in your diet and refined sugar and processed fats and processed foods, you will have a high degree of xenoestrogens in your diet, which will play havoc with your hormones. So really think about plant-based estrogen. Where are you getting lots of leafy greens, lots of variety in your colors, lots of good antioxidants? All of that will help balance your cortisol levels, balance out your adrenals, and support your liver. And your liver is one of the main organs for producing your hormones. So anything to support the liver is a very good thing. If you want to know about some of my juice recipes, you can always head over to my business page, Passion for Juice with Trish Tucker May, Passion for Juice, the number 4, and I've got a free download there. You can download a free recipe book, a juicing recipe book, and that's got to be the most fun and the most delicious way of getting fruit and veg into your diet. Okay, Deb, are you still there? It's difficult to see if anyone's watching, but if you've got any questions, I would like to know if you're struggling with any of those symptoms. Look at some of these symptoms that are also consistent with gut problems. And once again, you'll see this correlation between menopause symptoms and liver symptoms and symptoms. So if you are constipated or bloated, or you're struggling with diarrhea, again, insomnia is such a big thing. You know, in the last 15 years, we're seeing more and more women presenting with accidentally overweight, wired and tired, but not sleeping well. So that's definitely going to play havoc with your hormones. If you have brain fog, headaches, skin breakouts, if you're feeling puffy, feeling like crap, you've got a lot of gas, you've got itchy skin, you've got surprising rashes in weird places, like around your bra straps. I know I get very sensitive to any clothes now that have any plastics in them, and so many clothes now are being made with plastics. So we try and wear natural fibers that are not made with plastics in them, because it gives us all this nasty rashes over our shoulders and under our bra strap area. So again, look, a lot of these symptoms are similar. Your body's whispering or even shouting to you that you need to do a detox. You need to support your liver. You need to look at a gut healing protocol, and really to support your body through this incredible time. The good news is that you can support your body beautifully from the inside out, and you can feel beautiful and vibrant and joyful and wise and embrace this beautiful time of your life, instead of feeling yucky and ugly and fat and tired and irritable and lethargic and bloated. All right, there is help and there is hope. So reach out to me if you are struggling with your symptoms, and I can set you in the right direction. Right, let me give you a few little blends that are really helpful. Some of the main oils that are so beautiful and powerful when it comes to balancing the hormones would have to be some of my favorites. Peppermint, amazing for energy, amazing for cooling things down if you're a little bit overheated, and also to support any neck tension and head tension. Good, you're still there, Deb. I wasn't sure. Excellent. Ylang ylang, look, the floral oils, to feel so good on the inside out. When you diffuse ylang ylang, it is so beautiful. You can use it also internally. And of course, when I'm talking about internal use of oils, I'm only talking about Doterra. They are certified, pure, therapeutic grade medicinal oils. And what makes Doterra different is that they have batch number on the bottom of the bottle. Every single oil, every single bottle, every single batch of oil is tested for purity and potency. There is no other company on the planet that does this. Doterra are the biggest and the best. They really do a lot to make sure that this is, this oil, this beautiful oil, this gift from the earth, is free from contaminants, is free from synthetics. And they've got the batch number to prove it. They test 9 times internally and 5 times externally every single drop of oil. If it has any contaminants, it doesn't go into the bottle. So you're guaranteed that stamp of approval from Doterra. That is why they're the biggest, and that's why they're the best. And certainly then for internal use, very, very powerful. Frankincense, the king of oils. So this is really supporting cellular energy. It smells beautiful. It's very uplifting, very energizing, and very calming. But also 1 drop under the tongue each day can really help bring cellular energy, support, and medicinal strength of this oil into the body, into the mitochondria, and into the energy center, to help balance your hormones, to help balance that cortisol level, to help the liver, to help all the internal organs. So that's a key in a lot of the menopausal blends. Balance is a beautiful oil. This is one that is not to be used internally, but it is fantastic under the bra strap. It's beautiful in the diffuser, very calming, does exactly what it says, balancing hormones. It's a great one to use under the bra strap. So just a couple of drops in the palm of the hand when you're getting dressed, so aromatic dressing in the morning, and putting that under your breasts. in the groin area, beautiful for balancing hormones, balancing out those estrogen, especially, you know, if you've got estrogen dominance, then that's a really good one for bringing estrogen down a little bit. Lavender is amazing for, you know, again, aromatic use, so for calming everything down, helping you with sleep. That's a key one for any sleep issues. You can also use it internally. Amazing for, you know, one drop in warm water at night to help you sleep. And sleep is so vital. That's when we repair and rejuvenate our cells. So ladies particularly, pay attention to that natural circadian rhythm, that, you know, that first time that you find you're feeling sleepy, 9:30 at night, that's when you should be lowering the lights, rubbing, you know, lavender on the bottom of the feet, on the breastplate, under the earlobes, on the back of the neck, and putting it in the diffuser and having one drop in a cup of warm water, and supporting yourself with that really good long night's sleep. That is so, so important to balancing hormones. And I know it's so debilitating. Look, I had major sleep deprivation with my son, my youngest son. He didn't really sleep for 3 years. It really tore me apart. I think that's where I went grey overnight. And speaking of grey hair, we'll come to that. But yeah, look, sleep is so, so important. And I know what it's like to not have sleep. And I know now that it is the number one thing. I am the big guardian and custodian of sleep in my house. So I have a nice darkened room. I have my diffuser going every night. I have a little roller bottle, which just looks like this at my bed. And it's got Serenity, which is lavender peace, which is the beautiful calming blend, beside me at night. And nothing generally wakes me up now, which is brilliant. You know, it's new for me. I used to wake up several times a night. When I was still drinking red wine, I used to wake up at, you know, somewhere between 1 and 3 in the morning. That's the liver and the gallbladder time. You don't want to be awake then. That is when they're doing their work, cleaning out the body. So if you're waking between 1 and 3, then your liver needs some attention. You need to support your liver. So if that's you, then reach out to me and I can give you a few techniques on supporting the liver. Okay, grey hair, right. So if you are still spending, well, none of us are spending any time in the hairdressers right now, especially in England, but if you're still spending a lot of money and a lot of time in the hairdressers, putting toxic hair dye on your hair, and you're struggling with hormonal symptoms, then really look at your exposure to chemicals, because exposure to all sorts of chemicals, whether it's in your skincare range, in your cleaning routines, in your self-care routines where you're putting all this dye on your hair, is disrupting your hormones. There's no two ways about it, okay? So I know Blossom, amazing organic hair care and Foster, fantastic, but, you know, go the natural route. Oh, look, I could talk about all day about the natural menopause and the dangers of HRT and the side effects associated with HRT. Look, some people swear by it. However, you are interrupting the natural cycle of your body. That is going to come with side effects. So why not choose a natural route? Right, I'm going to, just before we finish off, and if you've got any questions, Deb, let me know. But let me give you a couple of blends that are very good for specific symptoms. So if you still have periods and they're irregular and you have this... you feel very irritable around that cycle at that time in your cycle, then try this. In a rollerball, right? I mean, this is a great blend. This Claricalm blend is amazing. All right, that is ready to go. It just is the women's monthly blend, and it is fantastic. So you can buy that directly from me, and you know, it's already pre-mixed. But if you wanted to mix up your own, you could get yourself a rollerball. I know GoVita have the empty ones of these. 8 drops of clary sage, 6 drops of lavender, 6 drops of frankincense, and 4 drops of copaiba. Top that up with fractionated coconut oil, and you could rub that on your tummy clockwise, but also on the inside and the outside of the ankles. That place either side of your Achilles heel is your hormone place. That's a really good place to rub in these blends. Now, a fantastic hormone balancing blend is, again, 8 drops of clary sage, 4 drops of frankincense, 4 drops of lavender, and 5 drops of peppermint. So if you are struggling with night sweats, or you're struggling with hot flushes and you're sitting there in the office going, oh, oh, then I swear, rubbing that again on the ankle point outside the Achilles heel, rubbing it on your feet, rubbing it on your wrists, under your earlobes, and that can give you relief from hot flushes for around about 8 hours. So generally incorporating that into your routine is a very good way to go. If you're considering natural menopause, then I really encourage you to avoid processed foods, avoid things like margarine, avoid alcohol, avoid too much caffeine, and avoid too much processed wheat. They will all play havoc with your cortisol levels and and make it difficult for you to balance your hormones. Fantastic one again for hot flushes. So 5 drops of peppermint, 5 drops of clary sage, 3 drops of frankincense, and 2 drops of lavender into a roller ball, and that is a fantastic way to go. Now, I'm all about foundational medicine and making sure you're getting the nutrients that you need. Doterra has 2 excellent supplements that are very, very good for perimenopausal and menopausal women. One is the phytoestrogen complex. This is a plant-based estrogen complex that is very, very good. And the other one is the bone nutrient. This is a combination of magnesium, and calcium, and very, very good for bone support. So, and of course, regular yoga, deep breathing, breath work, meditation, anything that will support you on a daily basis on reducing your cortisol levels is going to have you have happy hormones. And anything to support your gut health and support that main route of elimination, your lymph, your liver, your gallbladder, your small intestine, your large intestine, will all support happy hormones. So if you haven't got any questions, Debbie, you still there? You got some questions for me? And if not, we will sign off in saying that, did you know you've got probably on average, the average lifespan of a woman past the age of menopause is around 42 years. So I have met some clients that in their 70s still struggle with menopause symptoms. I really encourage you to look at your lifestyle, look at ways that you can reduce your cortisol levels and embrace this beautiful time of life. This is our birthright, to feel wise, to feel beautiful on the inside and out, to feel vibrant, to feel joyful in our beautiful wisdom, in our beautiful bodies, and our beautiful energy connected to vibrant source of energy. So if you feel disconnected from that energy, then reach out to me, because these oils are such a beautiful way to really feel connected and feel worthy and feel supported on the inside and the out. So thanks for watching, and I'll sign off, but if there's any questions, you can post them in the group, and I'll also post a link to my calendar. If you haven't got some oils yet, now is a really good time. And what we're going to do going forward is we're going to take these classes into a Zoom group, and they'll probably be once a fortnight if there's enough demand, or once a month. I know you've got some big changes happening, so I'm here to support you through that. So reach out to me, and and thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time.